What's going on, my friends? I have told you on previous videos that we would do a walk around on this bike, and I've taken my notes, so please forgive me if information on here is incorrect, because this is a 1995 Honda Shadow. It is a VLX in the United States, and it's a VT600CD. Guys, this is a very pretty bike. A lot of us love this cruiser styling. It is absolutely gorgeous. These are mostly everything in here is factory, except for missing the baffles. And I can't really go through. We'll just do the specs on this bike for now, because all the things I did to it alter the bike. I did put a jet kit in, stage 3 jet kit. But for now, let's just go around and admire the beauty and the stock setup. They did make these from 08 to... oh, I can't read my writing. Does that say 05? Guys, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Maybe it says 88 to 08. So that is a very long run. I know at one point they switched to a single carburetor to feed both cylinders. This does have 2 spark plugs per cylinder, and that's for emissions as far as I understand. Here's our air filter, our air box. That's under there. There's a K&N air filter under there. Do have stock spark plugs. This is the CD, which I think is deluxe. We have the extra highway running lights here. They do turn on with a switch right here, all by themselves. So I don't think it works when the... nope, doesn't work when it's off. But up front we have a single-sided brake, and I don't know if I have information on that. Let's go back to the carburetor. 34 millimeter, I guess it's a Cayenne carburetor. And let's go down my list here. It is a 583cc 600 motorcycle. We call it a 600 in the States. This is the Shadow, and in other countries it is called the Steed. But we still have the VLX. But I had somebody on one of my riding videos say that it was the Steed, not a Shadow, and I understand they're not in our country. Drum brake in the rear, as we're looking at that. This is a 4-speed. Yeah, I know, a little bit crazy, but I've ridden it a couple times, and I feel like now that we got it under control, I feel like it doesn't really matter so much. You get used to the 4 speeds, they're very long gears. And we have a chain drive on the rear. You can notice the spoked wheels. It's not something I'm used to, but that means there is a tube inside. And the tires here, the front is a 190/19, typical cruiser size, and the rear is a 170/80/15. Oh, what else do we need to do here? We've got a horsepower of about 40 to 43 at 6,500 RPMs, which unfortunately we do not have a tachometer. We have a simple setup here. We have just the speedometer with miles, and also a trip meter that I usually set to follow and know how much gas is in here, which takes us to fuel capacity 2.9 gallons, and the range, as I've been told, is about 110 miles. So at some point you're going to be switching this to reserve. You have on, reserve, and off, which off is nice. Down here is our choke, and our key is located way down here by your leg. But this is a very short bike. It is only, seat height is 27 inches. So as you can see, this would work for anyone. It's a very comfortable, very easy rider. The controls are up here. They're a little bit forward, but I did remove forward controls from this, so that pushes them back to the factory spot. This bike in particular had rust hole pinholes all over the tank, so I had to fix all those, which we're not leaking now. And I put a little bit of gasket sealer on the bottom, so we're not leaking oil anymore either. We did an oil change, new fresh filter. The chain looks good to me. It's really good. Let's continue talking. I said horsepower is about 40 horsepower. Torque 35 to 38 foot-pounds at 3,500 RPM, which again, you can't see on this bike. Liquid cooled. We have our radiator up here, and it's a 52-degree V-twin versus the V45, which is our Magnus. Single overhead cam, 3 valves per cylinder, and I'm running out of stuff to say. Top speed, I did read, is 111 miles per hour. I don't know, quarter mile, 13.7 seconds. Guys, this is not a fast bike, but she does get up and go. I'll tell you what, I've been very, very happy with this motorcycle. Dry weight is 407 and loaded with fluids, 483. So you're under 500 pounds on a very low to the ground, low center line. And all the weight's basically down in the bottom. If you were to pull these side covers off, I believe the battery is accessed. How many times did I hook this up to the battery? I don't remember. I don't remember which side it's on. But as you can see, controls are simple Honda. We have our horn, turn signal, push it into reset, high and low on this bar. Here we have neutral, turn signal. Honda does 1, so you don't know if it's left or right, but it'll tell you that it's going. High beam is here. Over here you have a simple on-off engine stop and our start button. And this, I believe, was the hydraulic front brake, and as I said, rear drum brake. So simple there too. If you want to see the pads, you got to take the drum brake off. They're called shoes with a rear drum. But otherwise, there's your regulator rectifier down here. I think the battery is on this side because I've pulled this cover quite a few times. It's actually off most of the time. But yeah, 4-speed activated by that. And here is your front disc. We have 2 pistons in there for that one, and she's pretty solid. A little bit of cracking here, but it's not leaking at this point. This one looks like it might be leaking. We should probably clean it out. But I think that is my list. I think we covered everything. If you have anything to add, go ahead and let me know. We have some notes on the V65 Magnus we'll be turning to very soon. Let's go ahead and fire her up. She has been firing with no choke, so let's see how we do. Ready for this? Let's go. I'd say she's tuned well if she starts right up like that. No choke, no joke, guys. The seat's got some cracking. What's this bike worth, guys? I think we're gonna keep it for a little while, which is pretty solid. Used to say Honda on the rear there. Listen to that, that sounds good. She sounds really solid, really just great. Like I said, fresh oil change. Here's where your clutch comes down. Your adjustment is right here. If you're not doing it up in the bar, that releases on this side, which is funny. The Magna is on the opposite side. There you go. That is the Stage 3 jetted Honda Shadow 600, 1995. No baffles. I don't know if she's warmed up enough to give a rev. That'd be a good way to take us out. Not going to see a rev from an RPM gauge. Look at that. That is V-twin. She does sound super good up here. She's not warmed up. Give her a little bit of rev here. Yeah, she's ready to take off.